All right, so I'm excited to show you this video. Today we have, I believe it's the L83 LT style engine out of the, I guess, somewhat more recent generation Chevrolet and GMC. And of course, it's developed the usual misfire. Customer here has went ahead and replaced the spark plug, the wire, the coil. We checked injector data. Everything looks like it's fine. Still has that misfire, cylinder 7. That's going to be on the very back of the driver's side here. And basically, let me show you a quick way to narrow down, because obviously you're watching this video because it's going to be a lifter replacement. Just pop off the valve cover, unconnect your coils, and start it for a couple seconds. And watch your rocker arms. That's all you got to do to verify that you have something going on with a lifter, push rod, or camshaft lobe. So let's do that real quick. Okay, ready. Okay, you can turn it off. Okay, so I went ahead and put the valve cover back on because, you know, we don't want things exposed longer than they have to be. We're going to start off by attacking, I guess, the top end of this project. I'll remove the induction system, the air box, tube. Probably comes on a one big piece. After that, I'm going to start disconnecting various injectors and things from the intake manifold. We're going to have to get the intake manifold off. At some point, I'm going to get the exhaust manifold off because our problem is here on this side, number 7 in the back. So let's start getting things out of the way. Pretty simple stuff. You've got your clamp here. You've got your clamp on the throttle body itself. You've got 2 PCV looking pipes coming off the back of the box to the valve covers. You just kind of depress that and pull off. Yeah, and this should come up and out. There we go. So this intake manifold ended up kind of being a pain. This top cover just kind of ruins your day, I'm not gonna lie. So I ended up undoing it from the manifold. There's a bunch of harnesses and stuff with like these Christmas tree clips to go into the back of it. I found the easiest way is to just kind of pull it out. They call it like clamshell it out, snake it out, leave the cover in. Then once the manifold itself is out, then you can actually remove this thing. Holy crap. It's like they put the body on over the engine and just hope nobody ever has to remove this stupid thing right here. Holy crap. All right. The problem is the back of this thing goes so far down, tucked behind the manifold, you can't pull it out. And then the clips I was telling you about, they go here, here. It's all on the back of this. There's this little Christmas tree harness clips. It's gonna fight you. But I won, so let's keep going. Okay, now that the intake manifold is completely up and out of the way, it's going to be a good idea to block off all your intake ports. You don't want any debris of any sort getting into these ports. I'm going to go ahead and remove the exhaust manifold. So I'm going to start by getting the vehicle up in the air and unbolting the exhaust flange from underneath, kind of by where the cat is, and then doing all the 13 millimeters that go up against the head. And hopefully none of them break, because they do like to break. Jeez. All right, so I'm underneath removing the 315s. Oh, luckily they came up pretty easily. Thanks, Poppy. You want to be in my video? There you go. So to get to the exhaust manifold bolts here along the head, I found it easier to remove the heat shield. There's 3 10 millimeter bolts holding this on there. Once you get those out, you can remove this entire shield and it'll get you more access to these 13s here that run along the manifold there. All right, here we are pulling out the exhaust manifold here. Come on, let me have it. There we go. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and pull off the valve cover, get the rocker arms out, and start removing head bolts. Let's see. There should only be a couple of them. Just had this thing off to check out that rocker arm that wasn't even moving in the beginning of the video. So I just put like a handful of bolts back in. So it should come out fairly quickly. Let's see if I can one hand this thing. Oh, Jesus. All right, here we go. Nope, yep, that's one way to get it out. Come on. All right, from here, rocker arms and the head bolts that go along here. There's 5 in here, 5 on the bottom. Let's see if it's like an LS where there's no bolts on top. I guess they got rid of those. Okay. Interesting. Maybe we just got the 10 head bolts. Okay, so the juice is loose. We've got some coolant spilling out. Let me give you a quick update on what I have done. I removed this big piece of foam, and I had to do that to get to this high pressure fuel line here. I removed this one nut, and this rail and injectors, the port injectors, they're gonna come out with the head. And it looks like we just have to undo maybe a connector back here in the back of the rail, some sort of high pressure rail sensor, undo that. And then I took out all the head bolts like I showed you. There's 5 more down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This front one's a 13 millimeter hex. And yeah, after I unplug it, the head should be ready to come out. Let's find out. All right, so real quick, it's worth mentioning that there is a ground strap to the back of the head. This is a 13 millimeter. Sits right back here. I actually slit the head forward and removed this after the head was already kind of up and out of the way, so I can get behind the head and remove that. You've got your, let's see, where was it? Yeah, back here. Here's like the main plug for all your direct injectors. And then like I had showed you earlier, there was a connector for what looked like some sort of pressure sensor in the back of the fuel rail. Kind of recap, high pressure line that goes through the head. Fuel rail stays attached to the head when you move everything. Yeah, that's pretty much what we're looking at. So now what I'm gonna do, I went ahead and pulled the lifters out. The roller actually looked great. It looks pretty dang good, honestly, but it was stuck. Oh, you could actually see right there. It was bound up in there. I had to actually get some pliers and a pry bar and pop it out of the bore. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stick the camera down in the lifter bore in the very back here. I'm gonna rotate the engine and make sure the camshaft lobe isn't damaged. And if it's not, I can just do this, replace this one lifter, and we're good to go. So it's kind of a 50-50 shot. Sometimes when the lifter fails, it takes the camshaft out with it, and that turns it into a lot larger of a job. You gotta obviously tear down the front of the motor, take the other head off, take all the lifters out, take the radiator out to fit the camshaft out. But yeah, in this case, I think we're really lucky. And check it out, it's stuck in the collapsed position. This is the way they operate. Whenever the cylinder deactivates, the lifter basically collapses and it stops, opening and closing the valves on the deactivated cylinder. But the problem is it gets stuck like that. So I had said it's like a 50-50 chance of the cam being damaged. And whenever the lobe basically kills itself, it'll eat the camshaft. But whenever it gets collapsed like this and stuck, it's essentially out of the reach of the cam. So this is only a lifter issue in this case, not a lifter and cam. So we got lucky. We're gonna be able to save a little bit of money in parts for sure, and just get by with replacing the C's lifter. This is what it's supposed to look like, and yeah, that's no good. Of course, you're gonna make sure you prep your head real nice and clean. This is pretty much what you're going to want it to look like. Clean, it can never be too clean. And same thing with the block. Block could actually use a little more work, but I have been working on cleaning that up as well. But yeah, that's gonna be the end for this one. It's gonna be a 2 parts. Part 1 is gonna be removing it and getting down to the lifter that failed. Part 2 is gonna be basically putting it back together, the torque sequence and the pattern, and just getting everything back together. But anyways, yeah, please check out part 2 if this has been helpful for you. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Peace.